to Mayor Olivia Chow. She's making an announcement today about affordable housing and supporting Toronto artists.
Mayor,
and she's answering questions right now from the media. We'll take you there live.
That $1.3 billion so that the guns and the drugs coming from the other end is actually not coming into Canada. The other thing I would say for money for municipalities, I'm a very passionate supporter of that. I believe, and I'm hoping that the mayor and Alejandro maybe could correct me, I believe that the Toronto economy is the fourth largest economy in the country. I would actually say to you that I actually think that we need to start having discussions about a city charter. I think that the city needs to be able to have its own ability to have funds, accountability for those funds, and its own powers to be able to chart a vision and a course for the city. And I think that has been lacking for all of time, and I think it's time that we have that discussion. So I'm hoping that that's going to be part of the discussions today. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Sorry, one more question to Mayor Chow, just on, while we're on this topic, we've been talking a lot about, tariffs, relations with the U.S., etc. How important is it to have this unified voice, through FCM to add to this conversation?
Well, when we say Team Canada, we mean unity with a single purpose, determined to stand up for Canada. Every Canadian, every orders of government from across Canada are saying with one voice, we are Canadian, we're not American, we like our neighbors, but when you attack us, we will retaliate. And we will all do our part. Because municipalities are the closest level of government, we're the lowest but closest. One could look at it being the most connected, but hey, we have a lot of tools. Think about the connection you make with the city government, your local libraries, your community center, your streets, the food that kids eat in schools, the community centers, and the police officers and the fire and the ambulance, every aspect of the life. So when we join and municipalities join together, we too can bring the people together and give them their voice and represent their voice. So Team Canada approach, unify together, saying no to this economic attack is extremely important. One other thing, we are always stronger together. When because we are different levels of government, and we provide ideas, it means we can be creative. It can be from the ground up. So yes, our Prime Minister and our premiers are having great ideas, talking about what to do to defend ourselves, to retaliate, but we too can have some ideas because we are diverse and we are very grassroots. So it's critically important that FCM, together of all the municipalities from coast to coast, join together as part of Team Canada.
We have time for two more. Mayor, can I ask you about congestion charges? It seems that the province is not a fan of them and they're going to outlaw them. At the same time, it's showing that it works in reducing congestion, say in New York City. How wise is it for the province to tear out bike lanes, yet they don't want to impose congestion charges? How does that dovetail?
Well, where do I start? I don't want to wander into provincial election territory. That's not who I'm not partisan. And about whether they are towing 427 or not, sorry, not 427, the tow highway, 407, I meant. Which portion, the public portion, I'm not going to go there. When we are talking about congestion pricing, road pricing, what the City of Toronto is doing is say to the folks that do construction on the city street, we used to have a scheme that no matter how long you close the road for your construction, we charge a flat rate. Well, no, we're changing that. The longer you close the road, the more congestion you cause, especially in very, very high traffic area, the more you pay. So this alone would give some of the builders, utility companies that rip out our street, a financial incentive to do the construction faster. Because the number one problem of why the road congested, well, it's one of the problem, is because of the construction and the road being closed, or lane being closed. So that's number one. Number two, what we are doing in this city budget, we are investing in public transit like there's no other, like, the biggest capital budget, because we need to fix our subways. It's after a decade of neglect, it is not doing well. To make it more reliable, we are fixing the tracks and the signals, and so to stop those service disruption that drives people mad, right? So we want public transit to be much better. We are not increasing the fares, but increasing the services, especially streetcars and buses. So, and subways. So those two things alone really matters. The other thing about congestion, the third thing is that we're hiring 100 traffic agents so that we can direct traffic. They wouldn't people that block the intersection, the box, that is infuriating, they will not be able to do so. Having said all that, would it help if there's road tolls and all of that? Been there, done that, we've asked, and we've been told no. So, we can ask again, but we'll be told no. So we rather do things that we know we have the ability and the power to do, such as dealing with congestion, dealing with public transit, and yes, bike lanes too.
Last question. Just a quick follow-on. I believe there's $30 million for the program. A lot of people love it, but obviously you have
100.
But $30 million from the city for this year, right?
No, 100. We have put in $100 million. So yesterday's approval for those 700 units and the projects is $100 million. Let me tell you, if you want me to go into the weeds again, I can tell you where it comes from. No, ask me later. Yes, I can tell you it comes from a city pot, from the, in the middle of a housing crisis. Those people, speculators, buy a bunch of apartment units, leave it vacant, they're paying more. A part of that comes from there. The mention tax, people that can afford to buy a $20 million home, they're paying more. And some of it is thank you for the federal housing accelerator funds. Yay, right? So we cobble together a lot of the funding, and the provincial government, they have something called Building Housing Faster Fund. We overhit our target last year. We have so many housing units built. They gave us a big check. Well, Mr. Ford gave a big check. So thank you. We took some of that money also. So together it is $100 million.
Thank you very much.